And welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Today, everybody, we are looking at an IELTS speaking section. Specifically, we're looking at part 1, and the topic is talking about mobile apps. The IELTS speaking interview has 3 parts. Part 1 is a general topic that is common to candidates, and of course these days most people, if not everybody, has a mobile phone, so talking about the apps that you use on your phone could easily be a topic on your upcoming exam. Pay attention to the questions, the instructions, the strategies in this class to improve your vocabulary, your communication, and of course your IELTS scores. Welcome Anna. Hi Radexar, nice to see a new member in the class. Welcome Fuong. Good to see Carolina, our chat moderator, is here with us to help students and help make this class flow smoothly. Welcome Taslima, Jackie, Alexander, Maria. Nice to see many of our students here ready to learn. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They are the websites where we host all of our videos, our courses, and we will use the websites today to interact with each other and to practice our speaking. This is our general IELTS website here with the green background. To join the premium version of this course, click this big red button that's just above my head. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. For the academic IELTS, it's the blue background. Again, click the big red button and you'll get over 100 speaking interview videos. You'll get an interactive course, lots more. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. I'm a British Council agent. We're an IELTS test registration center. And we help thousands of students every month to pass their IELTS exams. You can use the code HEALTH9 to get a 10% discount on the website. Again, we'll use this website shortly to interact with students and to speak with them verbally using our voices. The apps that link to these websites are Academic IELTS Help in your App Store and General IELTS Help. Download the apps. You can also purchase the course through the apps as well as through YouTube shopping. So right here where you are right now, there's a shopping link where you can check out and get the premium package through Shopify. If you do that, send us an email so we can activate your premium course. We've got lots of speaking templates for certain topics on the website. Speaking part 2, Objects That Control Society. Check out that blog when you have a moment. I'll put that link into the chat for everybody. There you go. Instagram, IELTS _ AEHelp and GIELTS Help. Our Instagram profiles have lots of little reels, information, schedules. Follow us there to get constant updates on the IELTS, on learning English, and on our products. If you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My email is adrian@aehelp.com. You can also reach us at admin@aehelp.com. Students, we've got lots of classes for you this week. Yesterday we had a live class on our website. It's just another reason to join our websites. We have live classes there too. So we had a live class on reading yesterday on the website, and we're recording those live classes now and putting them on YouTube. However, only members can access those live class recordings on YouTube. That's a good reason to be a member on our YouTube channel. You can check out the live class from yesterday here. Again, do keep in mind that you have to be a member to be able to see that live class recording. So members, Domenico, Fuang, if you'd like to see that reading class from yesterday or the recording, some really good tips there. Check out that video. All right, everybody, let's get into some IELTS speaking. I know that's why you're here. That's what you want to do. I appreciate you bearing with me and listening to me. This is IELTS speaking, everybody, so it's really important that you speak and repeat. It's good to listen, and it's even better to speak and repeat. So copy what I say, copy how I say it. Again, I'm in West Coast, Canada, and I speak with a Western North American style of English. So if you're watching movies from Hollywood, if you're visiting Los Angeles, Vancouver, Victoria, my hometown, San Francisco, you're going to hear a very kind of similar type of crisp, clear English on your travels. I know, Domenico, you were here in Los Angeles, and you probably heard a lot of English that kind of sounded similar to me. Yeah, Domenico's saying, I'm in LA. So, Domenico, you can probably attest to a lot of the English around you kind of sounding similar to what I sound like. Domenico says, yes, I recognized it. It's like there's a whole bunch of Adrians. Right on, Domenico. I hope you're enjoying the City of Angels, as it's referred to, Los Angeles. Okay, everybody. So IELTS speaking, show up to your exam early. Don't just show up 20 minutes before to register, but show up 1 hour before. Show up. Let's do this at the top. Show up an hour before your IELTS exam starts and really get into English before your interview. Okay? So show up an hour before your interview and really get into English before your interview starts. Talk to other candidates. Take some practice questions with you. Okay, it's super important. That's probably the #1 tip that I can give you. You can improve your band score by a half band or 1 band from that single tip. Okay. Some of you are like, oh, great, that's the best tip, I'm out. No, stay, we got more. But no, on a serious note, the brain takes time to switch between languages, especially when we're being tested. So you have to speak English for at least an hour before your interview so that you can reach your full potential, your full English ability, okay? And then you will go and register. There will be a room with some exam invigilators. They will take your picture. And then 20 minutes later, you will get called into the exam room where there will be a man or a woman sitting there. They will look professional, usually in a suit and tie. And they will say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. The speaking has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. I'm recording this for clerical and marking purposes. Is that okay? You say, yes, absolutely, that's fine. And then they will say, may I see your identification? They need to make sure you are who you say you are. So they will also ask to see your passport, usually. In some places, you can use your national ID card or other official ID. They will ask to see that just to confirm that you are you. You didn't play an old switcheroo on them between the registration time and the interview time. And then you have to answer with a nice full sentence right away. Okay, so just remember, you're there to do a job. Your job is to get a great score, because at the end of the day, when you're applying for your immigration or university, they don't care that your examiner was angry, grumpy, beautiful, had a lisp, stuttered, tapped their finger on the desk while you were talking. They don't care about that. They just care about your score, okay? So you're there to do a job, get a good score. Pay attention to that one single job only. Your first step to getting that great score, speak in full sentences. You're not there for a casual conversation over a hot cup of cocoa. I have my hot cup of cocoa. No, it's coffee. Nema Tulayev, I see that you got our premium package last week. I hope you're using it every day, watching those videos, going through the interactive course. Okay, I'm waiting for some nice full sentence answers in the chat for this. Suf 1, if you only have a single name, say your single name if it's the one name in your passport, okay? Deborah, nice to see you. Deborah, I hope that course is working well for you now. I know you were having some technical issues on your end, so I hope that resolved. Okay, so Deborah says, certainly, here is my passport I used to register about 6 weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials. Good. That's a nice natural way. A little bit of correction. Okay. So again, repeat after me. May I see your identification? Did you repeat the question? Repeat questions. It's very important when you're practicing. The response from Deborah, certainly. Here's my passport I used to register about 6 weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials. Cobra says, you could also say this. Cobra says, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I had used for registering for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please have a look. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let me say that one more time, Cobra. You wrote it a little bit differently. Cobra says, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I had used for registration for this exam a couple of weeks ago. Please have a look. There you go. Little correction. Don't make mistakes. Not even little mistakes. Not even like missing the 4 here. Okay, you want to sound perfect for these first few questions. You want to be able to answer these perfectly in your sleep. Like, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I used for registration. Please have a look. Okay, so even in your sleeping state, I can do a good job of that right now because it's still 7 a.m. The coffee's just about to kick in. All right, and then the next question that they ask while you're holding your ID is, what is your full name? So if you only have a single name, then you only give that name. So Safwan, if you only have a single name, then all you have to say is, my name is Safwan. As you can see in my passport, this is my given name, and I do not have a surname. Just call me Safwan. I've heard this question before. There are people that have only a single name, and only a single name in their passport. If that is the case, just go with that one name. Hey, it's that much easier, right? My name is Safwan. As you can see in my passport, this is my given name, and I do not have a surname. Just call me Safwan. Okay, Safwan. Right? All right. Now here is a very nice, straightforward answer to this question by Domenico. I love it. So Domenico says, my given name is Domenico, and my family name is Lafauci. Please refer to me as Dominic. Love it. Okay. Full sentence, natural, clear. This is exactly the kind of language that examiners want to hear from you. And then they jump into some more questions. They will say, okay, Dominic, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. Do you have any hobbies? Okay. Don't say I have lots of hobbies. Okay. The trick to getting a good score in your IELTS and to making your life a little bit easier is just to focus on a couple of the top level answers, okay? Avoid multiples and avoid negatives, okay? So when you're practicing before your test and during your test, focus on this, okay? This is a really important tip. So to get great scores on IELTS speaking, avoid multiple answers Like, I have many hobbies: riding a bike, playing video games, watching movies, reading books, and then blah, 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 blah. The examiner will interrupt you, okay? And avoid negatives. I don't have any hobbies. That's a pretty hard sell. Most people like to do at least one activity repetitively, okay? So avoid these answers where you're making like a list of answers. IELTS examiners don't really like that. It doesn't help your score. It's not considered good communication. It's shallow, okay? And avoid negative answers that are conversation stoppers, like I don't have any hobbies. Instead, have 2 top-level answers, okay? And make them specific. So, for instance, say, I have a couple of hobbies. I especially like reading books or watching movies when I have a bit of downtime. Yesterday, I watched the new series on Netflix called Blue-Eyed Samurai, and I found it very entertaining. Okay, so that would be your high band 9 level answer. You focus on a couple of good, clear responses or topics, and then you explain it, give an example, and then allow the examiner to continue with their questions. That's what you want to do, okay? And students, I have sat the IELTS exam incognito, meaning that the examiner didn't know I was a native speaker, and I have dual citizenship. I have 2 nationalities, and I answered the questions in this way, and it was very clear band 9. I got a band 9 in the speaking, and it was the exact strategy, and I found it very good to communicate with the examiner. The examiner did not interrupt me. They comfortably went through the questions, and it was a good conversation, and that's what you need to focus on, okay? So that's what your band 9 level answer looks like, okay? Now, Mariam Yasrab says to this question, Mariam says, I enjoy listening to music. Okay, watch your infinitives. I enjoy listening to music in my free time. I believe the melody of music not only helps me, okay, to relieve my stress, but also promotes relaxation. Okay, this would be, so let's give a little bit feedback to Mariam here, okay? Okay, so this is an okay answer. It's not a bad start, Mariam. There's a couple ways we can improve this, and there are a couple of what we would say faults, okay? I don't necessarily want to say mistakes, but faults. So, I enjoy listening to music in my free time. Great. Okay, nice paraphrasing of hobbies with free time. I believe the melody of music not only helps me to relieve my stress, but also I really like the not only but also. Correlative conjunctions are awesome. So these are some really good points. What points in this answer do you think are considered poor communication? Okay, so we learn from each other, everybody, and this is a good example by Mariam that we can learn from. Okay, so what parts of this response would be considered poor communication? It's not bad English. The English is okay, but there's a couple of points that a person who's an expert, the examiners aren't just experts in English, they're experts in communication, okay? So what parts of this response would be considered poor communication? What do you think? Okay, free time is good. Okay, that's your hobby time. It's not with the grammar. It's not with the English, everybody. Yeah, so Said Islam says melody of music. I believe the melody of music. Okay? That's awkward. Of course, music has melody, so this is verbose, meaning that it's too many words. It's confusing. It's not necessary here, right? So melody of music, we'll change that in a moment. What else? Not only helps me to relieve stress, but also promotes relaxation. What else? What else is considered? Very good. And this is why I ask everybody, so that students aren't like, well, it's only Adrian's opinion. No, it's not only my opinion. You can see that your classmates have the same opinion. If you look at All Good says, I think relieving my stress automatically means relaxation. Absolutely. It's verbose. Okay. Does everybody know the word verbose? Let's teach that word. Verbose. Okay. Your answers should not be verbose. Okay. For high bands, 8 or 9, your responses should not be verbose. Okay, I'm not sure how to say. I never write that. Verbose. There we go. Verbose means to use more words than necessary. Okay. Now here, for a simple question like this, you definitely don't want to use words that are unnecessary. So here we could say, I enjoy listening to music in my free time. The melody of classical music, let's be more specific, not only helps me to relieve my stress, but also promotes relaxation. Not only helps me to relieve my stress, but also ignites my creative thinking. Listening to Mozart yesterday helped me come up with a great idea for my school project. Okay, so that would be your band 9 level answer. Okay, it sounds original, there's no repetition, there's detail. All right, Miriam, so careful, don't repeat yourself, students. If you repeat yourself, your score will go down. Now here's the dangerous part. Okay, listen up, everybody, because so far you're like, yeah, whatever, we always repeat ourselves when we speak, and I don't believe, Adrian, that this is really going to hurt my score all that much. It can, and it does often. The reason being is that repeating yourself isn't the best for good communication. However, when you repeat yourself or repeat the information within the same sentence and there is some kind of a mistake with the grammar or the word choice, then it starts to sound really strange. Okay, so keep that in mind, everybody. I'm sure we'll see some examples of that at some point in the class, but keep this in mind. So repeating content when combined with grammar mistakes becomes very strange. Okay, and confusing. And that will certainly lower your score. Okay, so instead make self-corrections, right, if you make a mistake. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next question. What is your favorite sport? Okay, I'll give you a nice high band answer. You come up with your own. We'll compare. We'll see what's similar, what's different, what works, what doesn't. Okay. My favorite sport is basketball. I love to both play it with my friends on the weekends and watch it on TV. I caught a great Toronto Raptors game just this last Saturday on the telly. Okay, let's use some British English there. Right, so what is your favorite sport? My favorite sport is basketball. I love to both play it with my friends on the weekends and watch it on TV. Again, that correlative conjunction. Students, know your correlative conjunctions, okay? So correlative conjunctions are really good in your speaking. Okay. So correlative conjunctions are like not only, but also, both, and, whether, or. And sometimes people are kind of scared of these conjunctions, but you shouldn't be, okay? Practice them, learn them. They're not terribly difficult once you get the hang of it, all right? So not only, but also, whether, or, neither, nor, and there's a couple more. Use them. Okay. All right. Anna. There we go. Anna says, my favorite sport is figure skating because not only in this sport athletes do some physical exercise, but also they dance using music, and it makes it very attractive for me. Even today, I watched it on TV. Okay. A couple of mistakes there, Anna. Let's correct those. All right, again, grammar, everybody. Always study grammar. Okay. My favorite sport is figure skating because not only does this, not only, okay, that's a little bit strange, and physical exercise is intrinsic to sport usually. So, because not only do athletes perform intense physical exercise, but also they dance on ice using music, and it makes it very attractive for me. Even today I watched it on TV. All right, that's better. All right. So careful, Anna, careful. Okay. All right. Said Islam, nice. So Said Islam says this. I really enjoy both playing and watching volleyball. I usually find myself playing it in my free time with my friends and classmates on Mondays and Wednesdays. Very nice. I like it. Okay. Days of the week always capitalize, of course. Good, clear, clean answer. That will get you a great band score. It will get you like a band score 7, 8, even a 9. Said smoothly and clearly. All right. Very nice. Romelia says, my favorite pastime is reading. I'm an avid reader, and I derive pleasure from putting myself in heroes' shoes and envisioning a better end for the plot. Sorry. I think that's what you were saying there. Envisioning a better end for the plot. Avid with an E. Reader. Okay. So, good use of vocabulary, Romelia. My favorite pastime is reading. Yes. I'm an avid reader. Examiners love to hear these kinds of collocations. And I derive pleasure. Derive pleasure means take pleasure in, or I have joy when I do this. Putting myself in heroes' shoes. Okay. Yes. Here's an even better word than hero. Putting myself in the shoes of the protagonist. Okay, learn vocabulary, everybody. Romelia uses nice vocabulary, so I like teaching even more vocabulary. The word protagonist, especially for those of you who like stories and books, it's a good word to know. Protagonist is usually the hero of the story. Okay. Pop quiz. What do you call the villain of the story? So the enemy or the nemesis. The villain's the bad guy. The bad guy. The villain, the bad guy in the story is referred to, yes, Alia says, that's called the antagonist. That's right, Alia. Carolina got it as well. Very nice. Good. So everybody, just repeat this nice phrase by Romelia. I like putting my shoes on. I like putting myself in the shoes of the protagonist. I like putting myself in the shoes of the protagonist. Basically, this means I like to empathize with the hero of the story, said in a very professional way. Okay? Good. Nicely done. Okay, everybody. Now, the examiner will say, okay, let's talk about mobile apps. And so they'll get into the topic of part 1, right? So you go through, may I see your identification? What is your full name? Where do you live? What are your hobbies? And then let's talk about mobile apps. How often do you use apps on your phone? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay, here's my answer. I kind of kept quiet there, giving you a little bit of time to think about your answer. Okay, so here again, it's how often do you use apps on your phone? I use applications on my phone every day, at least a dozen times. Whether I'm using an app for entertainment like YouTube or for education like Academic IELTS Help, or even just to find my way around the city with Google Maps. I'm opening apps about every hour or so throughout the day. Fantastic. Okay. All right, let's see some answers. Anahita has this answer for us. I always use apps on my phone at least an hour per day because I communicate with my friend Anna through Telegram for 30 minutes and then play chess with her for another half an hour every day. Anahita, what app do you use for chess? Domenico, I love the answer. Very nice use of natural English. Learn from each other, everybody. You all have some great English to share with us. So Domenico says, I'm practically married to my phone. We're inseparable. It's like my pocket-sized personal assistant. This is because I use apps every waking moment, like checking social media, ordering food, and finding my way around the city. I have used at least a dozen apps already today. One just 30 minutes ago to find this exam center. Okay, very nice, Domenico. Nice use of natural vocabulary. You're probably hearing lots of language like this right now in Los Angeles, which is fantastic. Okay. All right. Nice. So here, many students are realizing that, okay, for good communication, I should use both quantitative and qualitative language. Meaning, if you say, I use apps all the time, or I use apps frequently, then right away you should answer how much that is, right? So I use apps frequently, like 50 times a day. Okay. This part here is qualitative. Okay. Quality. And this part here, 50 times a day, that's quantity. So number, right? The two work best together. Okay? So you want to combine qualitative and quantitative language. Okay? Kavina says, I'm usually using mobile apps like WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter. Why I say so? I like to improve my knowledge via online. So because of that, I always try to find new apps while it is a piece of cake. Kavina, how often do you use apps? You haven't answered the question. Cobra says, I use applications on my phone in a 24-hour period, about 3 to 4 hours a day. Most of the time I use YouTube for entertainment and study purposes. Okay. Tad means a little bit. Okay. Domenico's asking Tad. A couple of people are saying, what does the word tad mean? A tad and a touch. Everybody, I'll explain that to you since I see a couple of you are asking. I'll give you an example answering this question. I use apps a tad too much throughout the day. That's my qualitative. I would say about 100 times. Admittedly, I'm addicted to my phone. Even right now, my hands are itching to pull out my phone to help me with this interview, and it's a strange feeling to know that it is not in my pocket because you're in the IELTS exam. You can't have your phone. Pull out your phone, they'll kick you out. So I use apps a tad too much. There you go. In practice, always when you're learning new vocabulary, put it into context. I use apps a tad too much throughout the day. I would say about 100 times. Admittedly, I'm addicted to my phone. Even right now, my hands are itching to pull out my phone to help me with this interview, and it's a strange feeling to know that it's not in my pocket. Okay, tad means a little bit. Okay. We also say a touch as a synonym for tad, a touch too much. Okay, so a tad too much, a touch too much. Repeat, students. Okay, repeat. All right, students, next question. What app do you use most often? If I had to choose it is likely Gmail. I have to check incoming mail for both business and school at least 5 to 6 times at various points throughout the day in order to make sure that I do not miss important tasks or deadlines. I was checking emails just before I came into the exam center. Okay, there you go. So what app do you use most often? If I had to choose, it is likely Gmail. I have to check incoming mail for both business and school at least 5 to 6 times at various points throughout the day in order to make sure I do not miss important tasks or deadlines. I was just checking emails before I came into the exam center. All right, Fuang and your team, good job on getting an A+ on your microeconomics presentation. I would have loved to seen that. I bet it was awesome. Okay. Fuang has an answer to this question. Fuang says, I mostly scroll around social networking sites such as Instagram, Facebook throughout my day, especially on Gmail. Gmail not only helps me to stay on top of my daily responsibilities, set reminders, prioritize tasks, make to-do lists, but also Gmail is an excellent app for me to send assignments and deadlines to my university professors all the time. Fuang, the answer is a bit long. If Gmail is the one you use the most, start with that. Keep it a little bit simpler. Okay, you're going to get interrupted by the examiner if you overspeak on these part 1 questions. All right, I'm seeing lots of great answers from people, and I want to give everybody a better idea of the IELTS speaking, and to that end, let's actually talk to each other. I'm going to show you how, and hopefully Carolina will also put the instructions into the chat for you. So for this part, many of you know, many who are here know how to do this. You can volunteer for speaking. If you're new, if this is your first time, you're awesome. You've taken a great step for your future, for better communication, for better English, and for a better life. Okay, English looks like it's going to be the world language of the future, not just like now, but in a world where basically everybody will speak it. We need to work towards a harmonious, peaceful global future, and to that, we need a language. In all honesty, I wouldn't care what it is. It could be Spanish, it could be Mandarin, it could be Arabic. We all just need to speak one language, right? And it looks like it's going to be English, so you're in the right direction. Go to aehelp.com, okay? When you get to aehelp.com, go to your My Student account. So this is aehelp.com. Again, to join the premium version of our course, click this big red button that's right there. Okay. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's totally worth it. Doesn't cost a lot of money, and you get tons of help on our website. You get way more for your dollar than other places, and I say that very sincerely. Again, go to your My Student account. In your My Student account, everybody, this week, to join live classes, use that light blue button. Right now, though, we're going to use this button here, the Student Partner Speaking button. Okay. For premium members, definitely use your computer-based practice exams. Definitely go through your interactive course, especially, you know, right now we're doing the speaking section, so check out the speaking section of the course. Okay. And study every single day. Okay, watch the videos. Listen to the audio. Now let's go to student partner speaking. In student partner speaking, you will be welcomed by a list of amazing people. We have Kulwinder, Manny, Leah. Nice to see Leah. Fuang, Said Islam, Mani Kanta. Good to have you here. Fatime, Ivan, Abdul. And a lot of you will, of course, see that there are premium students here with us. Premium students, definitely try to message each other. I encourage you, be responsible and say, hey, would you like to study every Saturday at 13 o'clock Universal Standard Time? Okay. Now, you'll see me in here, everybody. You'll see me in here as Master. When you see me, you can send me a message and say, I'd like to practice or I'd like to speak. Okay. And you can do that with the little blue envelope. Okay. All right. Let's give Ivan a chance here. We'll start a little bit lower here. We'll give Ivan, our premium student, a chance. He's a returning student, which is great. Ivan, I can see that you're being studious. Are you ready? Okay. Birhan, you can absolutely attend. Let's do this. Hi, Ivan.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Happy to see you back here. That's great.
Thank you.
Ivan, can you tell me where you are again?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
From Uzbekistan. Which, are you in Tashkent?
Yes.
Okay, the capital. It's just a safe bet, right? It's the biggest city. Ivan, what are you studying? What's your major?
I have a bachelor degree in information security and master's degree in computer engineering.
Computer engineering.
Concentrated in information security, cryptography, and crypto analysis.
Cryptography. Great. So you're good at puzzles.
I used to teach.
And are you good at solving puzzles?
In a way. Depends on
Depends on the puzzle. It's a very diplomatic answer, Ivan. All right. Okay, Ivan, are you ready for some speaking part 1?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Sure, there it is.
What is your full name?
My given name is Ivan, and my family name is Alyabiv. Please call me Ivan or Ivan.
Should it be Ivan or should it be Ivan?
Both variants are okay.
All right, Ivan. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. What is your favorite sport?
My favorite, it's actually a competition for me between chess, archery, and grappling.
Why?
Because I used to play chess and I used to play archery, if it's correct to say so. And now I like just watch. When I watch, it's very interesting to me.
Let's talk about apps. How often do you use apps on your phone?
It's a tricky question because I use a simple push button cell phone and it doesn't have any apps, but usually I spend my time with the computer, and with the computer I would say I use apps quite often, every day, most part of the day.
What app do you use most often?
if I had to choose, it will be, I think, YouTube app. In my free time, I watch a lot of videos, a lot of podcasts, let's plays, etc. But when I'm working, when I work on computer, I usually play some video in the background, in picture to picture mode. So most of the time I listen to some video in the background.
Okay, Ivan, I'm going to stop there and give you some feedback on your speaking, okay? So, Ivan, your overall band score here would likely be about a 6.5, which means it's between fluent and good, okay? So, fluent to good. Going towards a band 7, so you're moving towards a band 7 rather than towards a band 6, okay? So your speaking score, of course, is being marked on a fluency and coherence, and your fluency and your coherence would be about a 6. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Those are the most important scores for your overall score. If you have good fluency, good coherence, it basically means all of your other scores are very strong as well. Okay. So you want to focus on those, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more on how or what you can do to improve that, okay? So your lexical resource, meaning your vocabulary, okay, is probably about a 7. I would say you have good vocabulary, okay? You're able to use vocabulary quite dynamically. Your grammatical range and grammatical accuracy are about a 7 as well. That's why I said you're about a 6.5 moving towards a band 7. And your pronunciation is about a 7. So it's good. I can understand the words that you're saying, but I do have to give attention. I have to strain myself to be sure that I'm understanding clearly what you're saying. Now, pronunciation is also improved by good coherence, because when you have good coherence, even a thicker accent becomes easier to understand. Does that make sense, Ivan?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously all of these scores are kind of related or connected, right? I'll tell you why you're getting band 6 for fluency and coherence, okay? Your answers are slightly awkward and uncertain, okay? So fluency, coherence, there is a lack of continuous speech because of uncertainty, okay? And awkward answers. Okay, and I'll explain that with an example from what you said. Okay, so when I asked you, may I see your identification? You said, yeah, sure, here it is. I was a little bit worried. It was very quick, very short. My first tip to you is speak a little bit slower. To me, it sounds like you're rushing your sentences. You're trying to speak too quickly. It's unnatural. So speak a little bit slower and clearer. Okay, that will help your score.
Okay.
All right. So a little bit slower. We have different speeds in our diction, in our individual style of speaking. You might be quick, maybe even in Uzbek or in Russian, you speak very quickly. For good communication, though, to an unfamiliar audience, to a stranger like an examiner, you want to control that and slow yourself a little bit, okay? The other important point is really focus on your content. So you want to use affirmative, confident concepts and answers. Okay. So when I asked you what is your favorite sport, you said, my favorite sport, and you were about to say one, and then you said it's actually a competition. Now, when we're talking about sports, using the word competition like this is quite confusing because sports are competition. So it kind of confused me that you're going to talk about some kind of a competition, but then I realized, oh, you're talking about a competition among the types of sports that you consider your favorite. So not having a clear answer there immediately created awkward language and communication. Do you see that, Ivan?
Yep.
Okay, so for the IELTS, and I stress this quite often, almost in every single speaking class, you have to have just affirmative answers. The truth doesn't matter. Reality doesn't matter. What matters is good communication, and reality is what you make it. Okay, so here it would have been much better to say my favorite sport is archery. I love the hand-eye coordination of this sport, and I watch this sport in every Olympics since 2000, since the Sydney Olympics, or I don't know, maybe you're a bit young for that, but whatever, you get the idea, right? So you focus on one. And then, you even went into this kind of, I play archery, if it's correct to say so. No, you don't play archery, you do archery. So
Yes.
so if I'm your examiner in my head, I'm thinking, no, that's incorrect, but I can't tell you that. Okay. So, so you don't want to get yourself into these awkward kinds of situations. So just focus on an answer, clearly identify it, explain it, give an example of it, and move on. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, and you'll do much better. I think with your English, as long as you're following these tips, you can get a band 7, you can get a band 7.5, but you have to avoid these awkward answers. Same thing with the cell phone apps. So if you have a button phone, it's kind of a conversation killer when it comes to this topic of using apps. And even though you have a button phone, I am sure that you're very familiar with touch phones and mobile apps. So if I were you and I got this topic, especially being a computer wizard as yourself, I'm sure you know lots about computers, I would just pretend I have a phone with apps and then just give more kind of generic answers. You follow me?
Yes, but there is a technical issue too. It's not appropriate to lie.
Sorry,
Even if, even in
Ivan, there was a
such
little bit of
situations,
disturbance there in the line. Can you just say that one more time?
there is an ethical issue in answering.
There's no ethical issue because the IELTS examiner doesn't care if you're telling them about reality or you're
It's
just
not about
making it up.
it's not about the exam.
What is it about, Ivan?
It's about saying what is not true in a sense.
Truth is subjective. And I know that sounds weird to say, but truth is subjective. Your truth in the moment of the exam is to get the best score possible. Your truth is not to reveal your own identity. And you have to be clear on what your truth is. So if your truth is to give your own personality to the examiner, that could be, and so I'm not just telling you this, Ivan, I'm telling everybody this. And I understand ethics and morals, believe me, my degree is in psychology. So I understand ethics and morals. The examiner has 1,000,001 truths. You have 1,000,001 truths. My suggestion is make your truth about getting the best score for your study and immigration purposes. Don't make your truth about revealing your own personality to the examiner, because oftentimes that is not going to be in the favor of a high band score. Does that make sense?
It's all understandable, but it's still an issue of saying what is not true. So if you lie, you should clarify that it is a hypothetical situation and it's not actually true. It should be clarified.
It doesn't need to be on the IELTS. I mean, Ivan, I'm not going to change your personality, and I respect what you're saying.
Okay.
So you can do it that way. However, my goal, my truth,
I understood.
My truth, Ivan, is to help you get the best score possible. And I am almost certain that if you approach this topic and you present the IELTS examiner with, I have a button press phone, and you switch to the computer and you answer in these ways, you're going to get a much lower score. And Ivan, that examiner, after they finish interviewing 20, 30 candidates, they will not remember you or your truth. All they're going to see is a number, your candidate number on the sheet, candidate number 9974381, and they're going to mark down 6. And your truth will become that you can't apply to that university that you wanted to. So you have to think about that. It's not a lie. It's fictitious. You can think about it as storytelling, right? So
if it's clarified, no, okay.
All right, Ivan, just think about it. Okay, think about it. I
Okay,
appreciate you, but think about it. Okay, Ivan, thank you so much for
thank you.
volunteering. Keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, bye, Ivan. All right. To each their own, everybody. Of course, you're welcome to your opinion. There is a price to pay. And my suggestion, keep your eyes on the prize. All right, let's take another candidate. Fuang here was the first one to volunteer. So let's give Fuang a chance. Fuang, are you ready? All right, thumbs up for Ivan. Yes, thank you. And you know what? I appreciate you sharing your opinion. By the way, students, it doesn't. So just to be clear on the IELTS, you don't have to clarify that you're not telling the examiner your actual scenario. So you don't have to say, "Well, I don't have a phone, so I'm going to pretend that I do, so I can answer these questions." You don't have to tell them that. They're going to look at you like, "I don't care. I just want to hear you speak English well." Okay. All right. Here we go. It's especially true for part 2. Hi, Fuang.
Hi, 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 sir.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good as well. It's unusually quiet on your side. I don't hear traffic. What's going on?
Well, I think it's midnight here, sir. It's almost 11 o'clock in my
Okay.
country.
All right. Oh, nope, there it is. I hear something now. All right. Okay, Fuang, are you ready for some questions?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right, let's talk about using apps. How often do you use apps on your phone?
Mm, to make my life more streamlined and productive, I keep myself updated with apps and social media at least 3 hours a day and every day on my regular basis, receiving up to 20 to 30 messages and email per day from my college and university professor. So I just app on my phone every time. Like this morning, I spent more than one hour replying to Gmail assignment from my university classmate for next week presentation.
Do you play any games on your phone?
Uh, Although my smartphone seems like long-lasting battery devices, playing games on my phone is really not my cup of tea because I consider playing games not only wasting my valuable time for another activities, but also playing game leads me to a sedentary lifestyle and maybe harmful to my eye. So I rarely invest time for games on my phone.
Have you paid for any apps?
Yes, I have. I have spent some money for improvement app named Piano, and if I'm not mistaken, it's costed me a couple of dollars, and it still worked well for several years. Playing piano instrument in my cup of tea, so I think if I have more time to practice, I will pay more money to buy my favorite song on this app.
Okay. I'll stop there and I'll give you some feedback. Okay, Fuang, so your responses would get a band score of about 7 for that. Okay, so I'll go through it just like I did with Ivan. So that would be considered good English. You're using definitely a lot of vocabulary. Let me just score you out here. Okay, so um, okay, so you would get an overall score of about 7, so it would be considered good English. Your fluency and coherence. Your fluency is definitely a 7. You were speaking quite continuously without taking too many pauses to think of what you're saying. Your coherence was closer to a 6.5. Okay. And I'll explain why in a second. 6 to 6.5. Your vocabulary was more of about a 7.5. And then your grammatical range was quite good. You used some complex language there, like although my phone has good battery life, I don't really like playing games. So there was some really nice complex sentence structures there. So grammatical range, I would say, was like an 8. And then your grammatical accuracy was about a 7. Okay. Your pronunciation was about 5.5. There were some words that I had difficulty understanding and I couldn't quite catch. So just continue to focus on that pronunciation. Okay. With better pronunciation, Fuang, you're definitely going to jump up by about a band score. Okay. Following me?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So keep working on it. It will happen. It will. There's that traffic. I was missing that loud traffic. Finally, there's that honking horn of a truck that couldn't help themselves. Okay, so the most important advice that I can give you, Fuang, is careful not to overspeak, okay? So, for instance, you use the idiom cup of tea twice. It's a little bit awkward. It's like you're kind of almost forcing it into the situation. So using it once is fine, but using it multiple times, it starts to get kind of weird. So just careful with that, okay? And don't overspeak. So keep your answers to the point. When I say how often do you use apps in a day, especially in part 1, answer directly right away. I'm always using software on my touch phone, okay? At least 20 times each day. So you started to talk about social media and checking messages, and then you gave me the answer. Give the answer first and then explain why, especially in part 1, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, try that one more time, Fuang, this question, but just give me a really quick, clear answer, okay? So how often do you use apps on your phone each day?
Sorry, sir. My Wi-Fi connection is not good. So can you repeat one
Yeah.
more time?
So just answer this question in a more direct, clear way one more time. So how often do you use apps on your phone every day?
Well, I use apps on my phone on a daily basis, at least 3 hours a day, and maybe checking emails from my university professor. Like this morning, I spent 1 hour to use Gmail to send assignment to my professor, Miss Beverly.
Fantastic answer. So, Fuang, that answer, even though you had some natural fillers, I could tell that you're thinking about content, not English. And because you had really high coherence, the pronunciation didn't matter so much. So if I look at that answer now just by itself, it's a 7.5 to an 8. And I'm sure that a lot of the viewers in the chat will agree that, yeah, that was a very clear answer to that question. Okay, so that's the kind of answer you want to focus on. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, Fuang, good job. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir, for your feedback. Have a nice day, sir.
Bye, Fuang.
Sir, sir. As for your permissions, I opt for tomorrow class because I have some assignment on my university. Maybe tomorrow I will off.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Thanks for telling me, Fuang. Well, good luck on your school assignment. I hope you do a great job.
Yes. See you
Okay, bye.
on Saturday, sir.
See you
Bye-bye,
on
sir.
Saturday. Bye, Fuang. All right, very studious and extremely respectful. All right, let's hop around a bit. I think maybe. Oh, okay, let's try Leah. I don't know if Leah has had a chance. I don't want people on the lower end of this list to kind of feel missed. I have to just refresh this page, everybody. Leah, if you could just refresh your page as well so I can see you, and then I'll send you a message here. That will also help me to know that you're still there. So hopefully. Mariam, I see that you just purchased speaking interview practice during this live class. Good for you. Mariam used this speaking interview practice button to book a full speaking session with me. Okay, Leah, if you can hear me, try to join or refresh the page. Okay, as you guys can see, I had to refresh the page because there were so many people pinging the server. There's Leah. Okay, Leah, are you ready? Hopefully Leah's ready. Red Extra says the honking is also cute. That's funny. Red XR. Yes, it's quite noisy. I'm amazed how Fuan can keep such a positive attitude in such a noisy place. It would drive me crazy. Ringing. Leah, pick it up quick. Leah, do you not see the button? The green button? I'm guessing no. Leah, I did call you. Did you not see the green button? No? All right, check what's going on. I know some Apple phones have sometimes an issue with the buttons, but anyway, Leah, let me know. Send me an email if you're having an issue on your end so we can figure out the solution. Okay. File's back. Sure, are you ready? So File's back says, can I be next? File's back, absolutely. Let me know if you're there. I always want to check if and make sure you haven't run off to get a sandwich. So Fire's back if you're there. Well, there's a 6-second delay between us and YouTube anyway, not on the website. Website 0-second lag. Fire's back if you're still there, let me know. Okay, Fire's back says yes. Hang in there, students. Hang in there. Hello, Fire's back. I don't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you say something? Sounds like you picked up. No. Students, you can always try shift refreshing your page. So Fire's back. I don't hear you. I'm going to try one more and then I'll do a shift refresh on my page. Maybe I'll try somebody that usually has a pretty good connection. Anahita is also here in Canada. So if I can connect with Anahita, it should be okay. Are you ready on my end? Anyways, students, make sure you turn the ad blockers, pop-up blockers off on your browser. If you're using Firefox or something, you might want to shift refresh it. Let me just test it here. Anahita will help me out.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Anahita. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I am doing pretty good also. Okay, so we have a good clear connection. I can hear you just perfect.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said I can hear you just perfect, Anahita.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Are you ready for some questions about mobile apps?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's do it. So let's talk about mobile applications. How often do you use apps on your phone?
I always use apps on my phone approximately 1 hour per day. Indeed, I either talk with my friend Anna or play chess with her every day through Telegram and chess app. Yesterday, I played with her and communicated with her through Telegram and chess app.
Do you play any games on your phone?
Yes, as I already mentioned, I play chess on my mobile because it not only allows me to unwind, but also allows me to enhance my critical thinking. Indeed, yesterday I learned how to beat my opponent through a new method, and and I felt over the moon.
If you could make an app, what would it be?
Given the chance, I would make an app called my book because I am an avid reader and I want people to be able to read the memoirs of different outliers and uh, enhance their general knowledge.
All right. I'm going to give you some feedback. I know you thought that was really good.
Thank you, sir.
That was really good. Some very nice, clear, precise answers, great structure. Again, students, it's really important to remember that in the IELTS, you're speaking to a stranger. They don't know you. They don't know your style of English. They don't know your history. They don't know your emotions, your feelings. And frankly speaking, they don't care. Okay, I know that's a brutal, cold truth, but they don't care. The goal of the IELTS exam is to assess a person's ability to communicate, and there are some standards for that. Okay, so how well you can speak. So in this case, Anahita, you met those standards really well. You paraphrased the question, you used the question, you gave a clear answer, you gave a good explanation, you included an example, and so you're going to get a great score because that's how it works. Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you, Anahita, just like I did for your two predecessors, meaning Fuang and Ivan. Okay, so Anahita, your overall band score for this would be a comfortable 7.5, but I would say maybe even an 8 for these answers. Okay, so this would be considered very good English. All right. Your fluency was about a 7.5, but your coherence was extremely high. Okay, so that's where you're gaining a lot of marks, and ultimately, that's communication. Okay, if I can understand you really well and I have a very clear idea of your intention, I consider you prolific. Prolific means that you're able to impact and convince your audience of ideas. Okay, you know the word profit, Anahita?
Yes, it's like benefit.
Nope. I mean the person noun prophet, like in the
Yeah.
religious sense,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So a prophet is a person who brings the word of God or that brings the word of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A prophet is prolific. Okay.
Okay.
And we can be prolific in our communication. And a good example of that is your answer to that conditional. If you have the chance to make an app, what would it be? You had a very prolific answer. You said, given the opportunity, I would make an app called My Book. I can literally see it. Like I can, when you're giving me that answer, I can see that app on my phone. I can touch it. I can tap an app that says My Book. And that app contains certain functions like a book club so that I can discuss various types of books, memoirs that are being read by me and other people like me, and communicate on those. And this was created by Anahita, and that's a very, very clear answer in my mind as your listener. Okay, so that's where you're picking up the score. So that's where you're getting like so your coherence score for these answers is like an 8.5. Okay, it's almost at that expert level. Okay, your vocabulary was about a band 7.5. There was a bit of repetition, but some good vocabulary. Your grammatical range and accuracy were about an 8. Okay, and your pronunciation was about a band 7.5. So it was, yeah, I didn't have any trouble understanding your words. So this is why you get that overall 7.5 to 8. Okay, Anahita?
Sir.
Makes
I
sense?
think I have listened to your advices to speak slowly, therefore I improved.
Very good. Yes, I forgot that I mentioned that to you last time, but it makes sense now. Yes, very nice. Good.
Yes.
Anahita, that is really good. Keep up the good work, okay? And I look forward to your next interaction because I have a feeling you're going to keep impressing us more and more. So nicely done.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Bye, Anahita.
Bye, sir.
Anahita, that was really good. Yeah, okay. Sharmatova says, oh, her sound is very pretty. I love it. Yes, Anahita is from Afghanistan and lives in Canada. Okay, she's a regular student and works really hard. Leah, yes, I can give you another chance. I believe in second chances. Absolutely. Are you ready? Let's give Leah another chance. Students, in some countries, you might need to use a VPN, right? Virtual proxy network. Some countries have so many restrictions on TikTok, WhatsApp, and other kind of social software where there's video or audio being exchanged. Let's give Leah Chang another chance. All right, Leah, I'm not sure what's going on. Remember, everybody, you can always send us an email and also contact us with this button in your My Student account. So if you click that, Leah, and then just say something like Leah Chang, and then your email, and then you say, okay, technical support, I was in the live class, da 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 da. I couldn't see the button pop up or whatever it is. Then I can help you out more. Okay, so use that contact us button in your My Student account. All right, let's give Golbahor a chance. Upside down smiley face. Are you ready? Golbahar, also returning student. Nice to see a lot of returning students these days into the chat. That's really good. It means that you're being studious. So Golbahar, if you're there.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Golbahar.
Nice to hear.
Am I pronouncing your name correct? I know. I think the K is silent, right, in your name.
Yeah, Gulbahor.
Gulbahor. Okay, I'm working on it. All right. How have you been since we last spoke?
Oh, it's okay. I'm feeling great. And I had some problems on previous lessons when they were conducted on the site. So I just couldn't attend the class.
Do you mean like you had some technical issues in the live class on the website?
Yes. It's just lagged.
Okay, lagging. We really love to get feedback because it helps us understand what's going on, and then the developers, and we can do maybe some upgrades to help with that. So please send an email saying like, I joined this live class, I was using this kind of computer, this kind of connection, and it was like a lot of lag for me. What should I do, or what can you guys do? And then that can really help us. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Another really quick important tip for speaking. If a person asks you, how have you been since we last spoke, definitely use the present perfect in your answer. I've been great, or I've been doing well. Okay. That question almost always will warrant a present perfect in the response. So do you want to try that? How have you been since we last spoke?
I have been, right? So I have been good.
Okay, much better. No, that's it though. That's the natural way. And I have been good is actually very Canadian, because I have been well is the correct grammar, but Canadians use the adjective good instead of well. So you sound very Canadian when you say that. So
as you know, I want to move to Canada. So
there you go. So you can. So in Canada, you're allowed to use good instead of well. That's how you know a person's Canadian. All right, ready for some questions?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about mobile apps. Which app do you use most often?
The app that I use about 4 hours a day is called My Book. This is the app where I can find ebooks and read them. in my country, reading is not so popular, so I don't know any bookshop except with a little poor number of books. So I got used to reading ebooks in this app, and it is quite convenient for me.
Do you play any games on your phone?
No, I do not play any games on my phone because I consider it, because of my profession, I'm quite busy during the day and games do not excite me.
Have you paid for any apps?
I use many applications, pay applications like Spotify, Netflix, AI software, or even Telegram. Even my favorite app, my book, cost me about $50 on sale. Of course, I use all of these apps, and it is possible to use some of them without paying, but paid versions are more convenient and include more facilities.
How have apps improved over the past 10 years?
I think during the decade, apps have been becoming smarter. Even every day, they gain more intelligence than ever before. I mean, they rely more on personal preferences, special settings, and AI integration help them study a person inside and out and make such suggestions that only a best friend could do.
You're scaring me. All right.
sorry.
Only a best friend is as good as my app. Oh boy, it's a strange world we live in. What do you mean? My phone is my best friend. So, no, that was really good. Really good answers. All right. Your style of speech is very similar for these responses to Anahita. And what I mean that in a very good sense, that both of you really kind of focused in on, okay, I'm answering this question, I'm answering it directly, fluently, with good structure. I just want this guy, Adrian, to understand coherently some concept. And it works. That works. Okay, that's what you do to get high scores in the IELTS. So you had very good fluency, very nice clear pronunciation. Your band score for these questions is definitely in the 8 I'm kind of hesitant between 8 and 8.5. So there were just a couple of mistakes where I'm like, okay, do I accept those mistakes for very good English, or am I going to be that very grumpy, nitpicky examiner and say, nope, I cannot give a very good if that mistake is there. So that's the question that I'm toiling with. But no, I definitely think that you were a good 8, inching towards an 8.5, and possibly there for some examiners for sure. So very nice natural use of language. Let me kind of break it down for you as I did for the other students in the class. So and of course, you know, everybody listening and watching, be careful, because this is just part 1. So really you do have to have an overall assessment of part 2 and part 3 to get the accurate results. But for this part 1, I think like that. I might have misspelled your name there. Sorry about that. Okay, so your overall is, I would say, 8 to 8.5. So you're very, very close there. So very good to expert. English, okay. Your fluency was, I would say, an 8.5. Your coherence was an 8.5, and those are the most important scores, and you did fantastic on those. Your vocab was about a 7.5. You had really good vocabulary in some parts where I would say it was like 8 or 9, but in a couple other parts it should have been different word choice. Your grammatical range and accuracy were about a band 8. Okay. Incorporate complex grammar as much as you can into your professional communications. All right. So again, like present perfect, reported speech. Okay. Your pronunciation, I would say, is like an 8.5. To me, it was nearly perfect. I might even give it a 9. Okay. So, where am I being picky? Okay. Let me just see. So, I asked you about mobile apps. Which app, or have you paid for any apps, right? Okay, first was, do you play any games on your phone? And then you said no on that one. And then I asked you, and that was a good answer. That was a very nice, clear answer, and you explained it. By the way, what I really liked about your answers as well is that you had a really strong finish. So your finish had some very nice kind of English and concept to finish your idea. Have you paid for any apps? And then you said, yes, I use many applications. Pay, and then here you said pay applications. So this is one where I was like, it's not pay application, it's paid applications. And I didn't hear that ID
Right.
at the end. So I use many paid applications like Spotify. I would have liked to hear the word in-app purchases for these. So these have in-app purchase options. Okay. And then you said, and they include many facilities. Facilities is an awkward, incorrect term in this context. Do you know what is the accurate word? They include
No.
more. Okay, they include. It's, you do know the word. I know you know it. It's the right word. You just have to replace it. They include more. So, paid apps include more.
Some features.
Exactly, maybe. Features or functions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So features, functions, both of those would have been good to use there. Facilities, it was kind of like, that's one of those ones that stops me from giving you that 8.5 or 9, okay?
Yeah, right. It sounds strange.
It does sound strange. And so if you have, you know, one or two of those words per every one or two questions, it's likely going to inch you more towards a band 8 than a band 9, okay? That makes sense. So just be careful about those, catch them. One way to avoid those is to speak a little bit slower and check yourself as you're moving along, right? That's one way to do it. But I think, you know, for you, your score's already so high, don't stress too much. Just keep practicing and doing what you're doing, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, go Bajor. That was awesome. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, Adrian. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye for now. All right. Oh boy, the time just flew by, everybody. I'm just noticing. Students, we're using the chat interface here, and I see that there are so many premium students in the class and so many people volunteering. I really encourage you to connect with each other, okay? There's at least, I can see like 8 or 9 volunteers right now. Just because I'm about to end the class and I'm leaving doesn't mean that you can't stay on and keep practicing your English. Just ping somebody and say, hey, I'm here right now. Do you want to practice a few of these questions based on these tips and strategies? And then really practice it, okay? Carolina, thank you so much for moderating the class. Everybody watching, use your My Student account at aehelp.com. And for those of you who are new here and you're enjoying these classes, sign up for the premium version of the course. It's absolutely worth it. Click the big red button that's right there on aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and for general IELTS, it's the green background, and you just click the same looking red button there. Birhan, you're very welcome. Birhan, I appreciate that feedback. That's my goal. Birhan says, thank you. Your class is practical. And that's what I'm going for. Practical, applicable strategies that you can use to get those higher band scores. Tomorrow, students, we're going to have 2 more classes right here on YouTube. Those classes will be writing, task 2 for members, and reading for subscribers. So subscribe to the channel. By the way, everybody, you can get our products through YouTube, through Shopify. If you do that, send me an email so I can activate your accounts. Check out aehelp.com for academic and glshelp.com for general. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that you have an awesome rest of your day. Much love to all of you. Until tomorrow. Bye for now.